This is Arma Reforger. We're here on PlayStation 5 Pro. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is something I've taken a look at since it was first released on Xbox Series X with its, I guess you would say, the game preview program, where it was a work in progress. They've since updated it, added a lot to it, and now it's available here on the PlayStation side of things. I was waiting a long time to hear back, and finally I am able to take a look at this game. And yeah, let's dive into it and talk about Arma Reforger, a game that has received many, many updates and is pro-enhanced, which is exciting. It's sadly not taking advantage of pisser technology. In exchange, they're doing FSR 1 instead, which is not the most ideal of choices for that sort of thing, but you still get a pretty decent looking experience. And yeah, we're going to be diving in and talking about everything that this game has to offer and showcasing it off so you can see it in action. This game recently has become rather popular gameplay wise, which is interesting, and they've added a lot to it. Like, originally it was rather rough around the edges, and then they've done many updates to it, adding, you know, like more intensive options such as the, I guess, mods. Little PlayStation's a bit odd on how it handles kind of mod stuff, if that makes sense, but they've added things like the kind of AI handling the game master, the cooperative modes, the different PvP options. The core gameplay is based around you're fighting for either faction across this, like, I guess you would call it a big island, a big area. You're trying to take control points, move forward. Matches can be quite lengthy. I think one of them we finished on stream not too long ago was about an hour and a half or so. I think at least. I think we were in it from like launch to leave. You're just thought we were gonna drive around and I was on the gun. I was kind of happy. So yeah, they've actually added quite a lot of stuff. Like the game master thing is like a little bit of like a management with AI kind of thing, and then that's kind of a big part of the experience is commanding troops and doing stuff and setting up these scenarios. A lot of people love that. For me, it's kind of the combat sort of mode, the PvP, where you're actually doing this large-scale battle. Like, there's more intimate battle options that are available too, but this is sort of the game mode that I find to be the most intriguing personally. Is this is what entices me, but I know a lot of people love to do the whole handling the, you know, the AI and everything like that. And this is supposed to be a bridge game too. So why does it not get rid of that thing right away? Anyways, so this is supposed to be a bridge game. Basically, the idea of this experience is for them to test the technology towards Arma 4. So this is supposed to be something that kind of gets like the new just this fusion engine kind of going so that they can prepare for Arma 4 down the road. So this is like a bit of a smaller scale offering, just kind of introducing console players and, you know, also showcasing their new technology. And DayZ 2 will be built off of this as well in the future, as we know that's coming based on the Microsoft leaked that themselves during the Activision Blizzard acquisition, so that's kind of neat. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn off these tooltips for what I'm doing. Two objectives, it's kind of annoying. Anyways, let's talk about the technical stuff. So we talked about FSR. This is fidelity mode, so this is a native 1944p. Usually you'd think it'd be dynamic and stuff like that, but they're like, nope, it's just straight up native 1944p, as again PS5 Pro enhanced offering. Where did you go? And yeah, that's kind of what we got for the resolution. 30 FPS. You can see it in the top there, so you can actually have like client FPS. You can also have server FPS on too. So the game, it has performance issues here or there, but it's actually quite nice on the Pro. But we're going to turn on performance mode because that's the better way to play the game. It's not performance by default, but I like to show off, you know, the different visual settings and everything like that so you get an idea of how they're performing. And I need to turn off control hints, interaction hints, context hints, this stuff. Like, I like interaction. notifications off. There we go. We'll just get rid of that for the case of the video. And there's crossplay, which is nice. And then there's Game Master, and you should be able to use either your controller or your keyboard mouse settings for stuff. So, and you can do Legacy because there's like older school controls, or you can do the new one. There's actually quite a lot of options. And this is a game where you're very much supposed to be like listening to other people and talking and stuff and communicating for sure. That's like a big part of the game. Don't expect a super warm welcoming. The community in this could be a little aggressive, needless to say, team killing, stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, so that was kind of the thing is we've got, I think, yeah, show FPS there in the corner, but there's different settings too, because you can have like, I turned it off for server, but no, it's not this one. There's server FPS too. So yeah, so I've got hiding server FPS, but I can turn that on, and then client FPS. So I just wanted to kind of get those options up there so you know what's kind of being presented. So for performance mode, screen tearing is present. It is 1440p, targeting 60 FPS, so like a little bit of a higher, I guess you would say, resolution, stuff like that than we're used to, but it's not like running the best here. I can't. Usually you can clear out the body. I'm not getting the option here. Use handbrake. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, usually I can clear out the body. I'm sort of struggling to get him out of there, which is kind of funny. The game usually also has a third person mode that you could switch to, and usually it's like the stick. Oh, I would have liked to come in the vehicle. No, we're not doing that. But I would have loved to ride. I guess I should go back to base and go get like a car. I was kind of expecting us to actually kind of do that together, but I guess not. Yeah, there's lots of sensitivity options. You can like fly things. There's like helicopters, FOV settings here for the field of view area, which is kind of nice. And then controls. It's usually like the third. Toggle focus, free look, toggle free look up. Toggle perspective. Really? That button? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's like on Xbox is like the stick. But yeah, you can go into third person if you want, and kind of play this game this way. As I was saying, it's basically just using the that's a bad guy. It's basically just using the technology. Like, this is their engine, right? So this is like Origins if you play something like DayZ. Or Arma in the past, obviously. This is just their latest iteration of this particular engine technology. So it's going to feel and look really familiar to what you've played, especially if you go into different houses and you're like a DayZ veteran. You'll be like, oh wow, yeah, no, these are the houses, like from DayZ, but they're the new versions of it. And then, yeah, like I said, it's going to be DayZ 2 or whatever it is going to be. Kind of leveraged off this. I thought this was vehicle... Oh, this is vehicle maintenance. There's like a sign you can like order the supply storage. There's usually a sign, and you can order in like a car vehicle maintenance. I don't think this... Oh, right here. Yeah. We'll see if we have 33 supplies. Ugh. Yeah, I was kind of hoping I would be able to get like a Jeep or something. Nope. Not at all. Okay. I guess there is a conflict going on here, so we can like be part of that. But it's sort of like it is a... Wait, are you a bad guy? Yeah. So so anyways, you're in this conflict, and it's like, it's a hardcore milsim, so basically like a single bullet can kind of kill you. I do wish the gunplay was a little easier going. Like, it can be like pretty hard to shoot somebody that's like pretty close up to you on the controller at times. Like, and you gotta make sure they're dead too. Like, it may not seem like it, but they can get like back up pretty easily. Like, you get shot and you'll be like bleeding out, and you gotta use a bandage, but you can like pretty simply get back up is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, a lot of times you'll think you kill somebody, but it's like, nah. Or sometimes I think people think I'm dead, and then I get back up, and that's a big surprise to people. But yeah, this is screen tearing really nastily on the PlayStation 5 Pro here. Do you think the BRR would help out on that kind of a thing, right? No, I want to keep spawning where the action is, and I'll trade bulks. There's lots of different environments too. Like a lot of the game is kind of sprawling, empty countryside where there's not a whole lot going on. You know, you get some forests, you get some towns and city structures like that to visit. It's quite neat, honestly. Like there's a lot of different locations that you can end up in. And a lot of different, like there's cities and little towns and villages, and then there's lots of different vehicles that you can take advantage of, and different kind of ways to sort of like, you're spawning basically like towns and stuff. So you're in groups, and your groups, you know, are kind of how you manage the scenario at play, and then you go and explore areas. You're just kind of fighting over territory in sections over long, extended periods of time. And there's day-night cycles, so the day cycles in, it cycles out, it becomes nighttime. And are you dead? I think he's dead. Yeah, okay. That's kind of a big part of this game, is sort of fighting through the conditions. And it could rain too, like there could be rain. It's funny because it's like when this game came out, it was rough, and people really fight me on that, so I don't understand why that's the case. You can go watch older videos. Like honestly, like when we were streaming it, I don't even think the multiplayer worked initially because you were just walking through endless maps. And then out of nowhere, this game's become like really popular suddenly. So I'm like, oh cool, you know, I'll come in, I'll do some stuff, revisit it a bit, talk about it, and show it off. And then I was like, oh, it'd be great to check it out on the Pro. And yeah, I thought I was having some issues with Bohemia, and I guess we're all good now. So that's exciting. Yeah, and then it'll be really interesting to see how this plays off with DayZ eventually when that gets released, because this is going to be the technology. DayZ's in for a glow up, basically, is what we're getting here, honestly. But it's been fascinating seeing them add like mechanics, because like when this launched too, it didn't have all the stuff it has now. So like there were, you know, it didn't have really the game mastering elements. It didn't really have the functionality. It didn't have the co-op modes. It didn't have like the mod support. It didn't have all these server options, and like players, you can have up to like 128 player servers. Oh, there's HDR, I should have mentioned too, and it's a 61 kilometer square authentic Cold War setting. And yeah, we talked about Game Master, real time editor. We talked about the environments, Everon, Ireland, Mid Atlantic microstate. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of like your setting style here. But like if you've played literally DayZ, it's quite neat. But Ireland is another option, and that one's like a smaller island. It's like 10 kilometers. This is like the big one, and the other one's like a small little island. But if you look at the structuring over there, and you've played DayZ, it's 100%, you know, DayZ. It's also neat because like originally when we were playing on this, the trees would just not like the trees wouldn't load, which is kind of funny. So like they'd be like 2D flat objects, and it's neat that they're now 3D things, but obviously like the screen tearing is, I think that actually shows up on the capture card. You see in the top there where it's just sort of like slicing through the screen. Not an ideal way for the shooter, because the Series X doesn't have that sort of issue. Like obviously there's still the performance drops, but yeah. And the uneven pacing, because I see sometimes it goes to 61 FPS, so it seems like unevenly paced frame rate, which is probably causing the screen tearing. Yeah, sorry, now, duh, my bad. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, you do get like a PS5 Pro enhanced thing. If you want to see the base PlayStation 5, I guess, you know, let me know, and maybe I can dive in and take a look at that too. That'd be an interesting revisit since I haven't been on there in a while. Oh, there's a helicopter over there. That is a destroyed helicopter. That is exactly what that is. Crap. Cancel handbrake. Okay, get in. So yeah, vehicle driving, really, you know, quite technical gameplay-wise. And then you're able to, like, you know, handle your vehicles. And as I said, like, it's a neat shooter. Like, we're getting more and more of these on the console side of things, which is, to me, really quite exciting. Oh, well, I got shot right in the face. I had that coming. Because we, you know, last gen, we never got anything like this, right? Like last gen of gaming, you'd never get any sort of gameplay experience like this where you were actually basically able to do these milsims. Like, it just didn't exist on the platform. And now, we actually have all this cool stuff, which is kind of neat. So where should I spawn? Why is it not letting me kind of pick my thing? There we go. Always wants me to like spawn way in the middle of nowhere. I wonder how many like new players kind of like sit there and they're just like not paying attention and then they like end up spawning right in the middle of nowhere. Can we spawn at Malden? No. Because I wanted to spawn at that like little closer up place. Why does it do that? Like it's just like the control thing is so awkward for like it's like clearly I don't want to spawn there. Like I'd love to spawn over there, but see, it's trying to like spawn me at like the coastal base thing, and it's like no, spawn me entree. It's a little. The UI is like a little anti-intuitive at times. Like it works, but like a lot of things in the game, it's just kind of a little. Let's say like buggy, but it's just a little like stilted, which again reminds me very much of DayZ, right? Where it's DayZ is very like that, where it's sort of little, it's very technical, very stilted. It's just neat though as well, like I was mentioning, it's just to see this game sort of evolve over time, like since the game preview thing, and slowly add in like physics mechanics and stuff, and you could definitely see how this is going to eventually become like a DayZ setup, and how this is going to lead into Arma 4, because like I said, it's just kind of like a precursor kind of gap game in their long-term plans, but still fun all the same, and interesting if you're trying to get into like this type of game, you know, a Millicent thing. We've seen things like Hell Let Loose and Insurgency and stuff pop up, but it's cool to see that more of this type of thing. Like I don't think anything's really off limits for consoles. I do hope PlayStation evolves a little bit more for their allowances of like mods, because it is really, really limiting on PlayStation for what kind of mod selection you get for a lot of games, which is not ideal. See, we haven't really gone far, but we've had all these little battles here. Yeah, I'm just like trying to find out where that guy kind of shot me, and it's like, this is a very bloody forest, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it could be a really tactical scenario and setup depending on how you know, kind of play and approach the game and see what it has to offer. I definitely had some issues with it. Like a lot of it is kind of like walking. Like it is a walking sim for sure. You do get bouts of combat. Sometimes it could be really intense. It just depends on the luck of the draw of what's happening, and if you're in the right location for conflict is another thing too, right? But a lot of people are really quite into this. I would say that it's a lot better of a state than when I originally played it. I do think the PS5 Pro version definitely has some adjustments to do, just in terms of like getting the screen tearing and stuff fixed, and you know, working on performance a little bit. But I'd say a lot of the performance may be handled a little bit better than on Xbox, just in terms of like hitting the higher frame rates a little bit more effectively. There's definitely some drops on the lower platforms, but yeah, it's not a bad offer. It's not a bad way to play this game. Needless to say, is what I'm trying to get across. Like here, probably gonna have a fine time with it. Where are they shooting at a helicopter? Or is there a guy up there? Yeah, the combat in this can be wild. I'm just a little disappointed I didn't really show like urban kind of warfare. I guess I don't know. Like we're more fighting in like the countryside, like these little bases, but we didn't really do much in the actual cities. Like there's a lot of cool conflicts to have happen when you're actually fighting out in the city fronts. Like the towns, they're not like massive, but it's just a very different type of warfare when you're actually like fighting in that kind of a way. This is what I'm trying to get across. It's a very different style, but kind of a cool offering. I hope I kind of decently showcased this well and talked about it. I mean, I definitely, you know, have some issues with things, but it's coming along. I mean, it is a full release now, so it's not like it's a game preview title, I don't think, at this point. Like, it had its 1.0 launch and everything, so this is full release, but I'm sure, like most games, it'll evolve, and we'll probably have to come back and, you know, take another visit it at some point down the road and see how it continues to change here on the PlayStation 5 Pro. But yeah, not a bad milsim experience if you're looking for one.